Trump just snuck through something even bigger than Keystone oil pipeline and no one's noticed. Once again, Trump is busy getting the business of our great country done, while the media obsesses over finding ways to discredit him. This time, our president approved an oil sand pipeline expansion that will move oil sand across the Canadian border. All while the media was looking the other way. But, boy, when they found out. According to Alberta Energy, oil sand is a naturally occurring mixture of sand, clay or other minerals, water and bitumen, which is a heavy and extremely viscous oil that must be treated before it can be used by refineries to produce usable fuels such as gasoline and diesel. They also say that Alberta's oil sands have been described by Time magazine as Canada's greatest buried energy treasure. The pipeline expansion Trump approved, to access more of this energy treasure, is Enbridge Energy's Line 67. It will carry more oil than the Keystone pipeline, which environmentalists oppose. Of course, they oppose Line 67 as well. But, as that video describes, they are careful and concerned with the environment, less land disturbance, setting aside land for recreation, etc., unlike what the libs and environmentalists would have you believe. I love how Trump got this done without anyone noticing, don't you? Could that be a part of his strategy? Whatever it is, if you like it, get this shared to show that our president is getting things done, and comment oil sands. Oil sands.
The oil sands are in Alberta, Canada. They're in the northwest, in the Peace River part. They're in the northeast, that's the big one, the Athabasca oil sands. And then just south of that, and around Bonnyville, is Cold Lake. In the oil sands, there's about 170 billion barrels of reserves. It's the second largest proven reserves in the world, next to Saudi Arabia. Oil sands is, it's very obvious. It's been around for a long time. People have seen it since the early explorer days. Even the native population used to use it for sealing their canoes. So if you float down the Athabasca River, you can see it coming out in a hot summer day. It's a combination mixture of sand, water, and bitumen, which is a very, very heavy oil, which requires further upgrading in order to make it into any kind of consumer products. The obvious one, of course, is the fuel that runs your car. Bubble gum, toothpaste, cosmetics. It all starts right here in the oil sands. In order to make the bitumen come out of the oil sands, you add some warm water to it, you shake it up, and you get separation. The economic engine that drives this province is energy. And with conventional oil and gas on the decline, oil sands is expected to fill in. The oil sands as a resource is fairly young, it's in its infancy. So we're working really diligently towards getting better at extracting this resource. When we first started, mining was the predominant technology for extraction. And with mining came the tailings ponds. Now, tailings ponds are the ugly eyesore that you see out there for the oil sands. But we are getting a lot better at them. When we first started mining, the life cycle of a tailings pond was thought to be in the neighborhood of 40 years. With new technologies, we've actually shortened this life cycle to 8 to 10 years for a tailings pond. That's fantastic. That's great progress. This is a reclamation site. It's called the Machito and Discovery Trails, and it's the vision that every mine has when it first starts out, to eventually reclaim the land and return it to its natural habitat. The future of oil sands is really in the in situ side of things, and what in situ means is in place. They drill into the formations. It's a much smaller environmental footprint. They can access a large section of the oil sands through just a small little part of their well pad. There's a lot of work that's being done by the government, by the regulators, towards encouraging better development, growth, technologies. Companies fund huge amounts of research done at universities, done in their own labs, done on site. There's a push towards having less and less land disturbance in the in situ operators, setting aside land for parks and